The last thing that we're going to do here in this workout today is work with this plastic pallet. And you don't need a specific plastic pallet. You don't need a specific mounting block or pedestal. I recently got some plastic pallets from a lady off of Facebook Marketplace, and I've been trying to study elevated things that I could use that were rated high enough to hold a heavy horse, that could help change their proprioception, but were also light enough that I could carry them. Because I have found if something is too heavy, people are not going to do it. Or if it's too expensive, people are not going to do it. So you can use a wooden pallet with a piece of 3/4 inch or inch plywood attached to the top, but that is actually very heavy. These plastic pallets, which this one doesn't have holes in the top, but a friend of mine recently got one that does have holes in the top. Good boy. He has a little trouble finding the height of the pallet on his own. And every day I've had to put the rope around his foot. But I'm hoping, that one of these days he would be able to do it without me having to help him. And there we go. That's the first time he could do it without me helping him. So you could look on Facebook Marketplace. You could find somebody that has plastic pallets, because these are light and strong. They could have holes, little mesh holes, or not. The only thing that I have found is somebody gave us a really huge one that the supports underneath didn't go all the way to the edge. They went that far from the edge, and if the horse stepped on the edge, it flipped the whole pallet up. So you've got to make sure that your supports go all the way out to the edge, or if you get one of those that doesn't have it, you put a board or something around the outside to support it. So he has gotten better and better at this pallet. We're doing this stretch or this exercise first to stretch tight areas of your horse. The tight areas that this stretches the most are the withers and these intercostal muscles between the ribs down the sides. Stretching the wither up helps the horse lift the wither, get the butt under it, let go of the neck. Withers stuck down are one of the biggest problems for horses and their balance. Oh, good. So now we're getting a big release in the mouth. So by stretching the wither up like this, we're really helping rewire the horse's balance, his nervous system and balance. Stretching these intercostal muscles here on the side, they really help with trailer loading. I think a lot of horses don't like to do trailer loading because it stretches those muscles and stretches the wither a little bit, and it's painful. So we're gonna stretch those things, and it's gonna help trailer loading not be so painful. Also, the amount of stretch in your muscles in your side give you access to this lateral flexion, the horse's ability to turn their head right and left. If those muscles are too stiff, look at him stretch his wither up and his everything up right there. That's really cool. If those muscles down their sides are too tight, the horse cannot turn his head side to side. So this helps give you some lateral flexion and some steering and some connection. So those are our stretch positives. It also gives us some release positives. One of the big releases we're going to get here is they release in their loin over their lower back. Horses often get really tight and arched in their lower back, just like people do. And this, standing up on something, helps release that lower back. It also releases the hamstrings, these little muscles back here on their butt. Those muscles, when that lower back gets tight, those hamstrings get tight. When the lower back and the hamstrings are tight, pulls the hock out behind them, pulls their butt up and out. It makes them not want to put their butt under them and become more balanced. The other piece that goes along with those two things is it gives you a psoas release. Your psoas muscle is also called your fear muscle. And when the horse has fear and anxiety, this psoas muscle tightens up. The psoas is the only muscle that really attaches the top of the body to the bottom of the body. And in the horse, the psoas lays kind of right along here. And when that psoas tightens up, it causes the horse to drop its back, pull its butt out behind it. So when we are doing this exercise and it's giving a psoas release, again, it's going to allow our horse to get its butt up under it. We're stretching the wither up, so we're rewiring the brain's idea of balance. We're telling the horse it can be more athletic and more comfortable than it ever thought possible. And this posture that we're creating also allows the horses to relax and connect. So we'll notice right now that he has his back feet kind of stretched out way behind him. As we stand here, he may continue to go through his body, doing some lateral flexion, dropping the head down, picking the head up. And as he does that, it'll loosen things and the back feet will want to step more forward. This is a little bit like somebody telling me that I need to learn how to do the splits. I could probably do the splits about this much. And if I got to do it every day, I bet I could get better at it. But if someone forced me, you need to go down 50% more, I'm going to think, one, that that's really painful, and that that person is a jerk. And I will avoid being around that person. I also probably won't even do this much splits. So by allowing the horse to get up on here and go through its body itself, it's going to work on loosening these things and relaxing these things and releasing these pieces, because the chemicals that are released when he stretches and does all these pieces are so much better than the chemicals when he's super tight. Good boy. Can you step back up? That's all right. Step up, back up. I know you turned your head so much you lost your balance there. Good boy. So we're going to step the back feet up. But the chemicals that this releases by standing on here feel so much better than the tight chemicals that he was getting just standing still, that he's like, wow, this feels so good. So we're just going to let him stand here and go through his body. Nice. I've never seen him drop his head that low on this pallet. To put his head down, he's got to release the top of his body. That was really good. And you can see he's exploring, how much can I turn my head? See how we're doing right and left lateral flexion? There's nothing over there for him to look at. He's exploring his range of motion in his neck. Good boy. And today he has really wanted to turn his head to the right a lot. So I feel like it's helping. Boy, that got the back feet up better. It's helping release this whole left side. Good, yes. So, oh my goodness, that was really good. So I have felt like, since he does this sort of bucking and weird stuff with his back feet, if we could, wow, look how much closer the back feet are now. This is way better. If I could help him, yes, step there, stand with the back feet on here, maybe that would be a good stretch for him. He's been been putting this right hind foot on the pallet. And this is probably going to be a little ugly for a second. But I would love to get those one or both back feet to step on here. Yes. Good. Good boy. I love that you're stepping up so well. Good. Because I really think for this horse and horses that kick up, if we could cause them to stand on the pallet with the back feet, we could get a big release that they need back there too. Good. All right, step down and put your foot on there. Can you put your foot on there? Good. That was good. And maybe he can only do it for a second. That's all right. Nice. Boy's getting better at stepping up. Good. Yes. 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 Awesome. Yes. Good. 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 So we're going to let him stand there and see what happens. And maybe nothing. But you'll never know, and you'll never figure anything out if you don't try stuff that's different. Good boy. Yes. Yes. Good. 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 Yes. Good. Yes. Good. This is very odd. Does that look odd from where you're standing?
Yes.
Good boy. So I feel like horses don't want to be in pain.
Good boy. Good boy.
And they don't want to be out of balance. So if I offer him a way to release things, good boy. This is great. I've never gotten him. This is the first time we've gotten both back feet on there. And see, a lot is coming out. He's wanting to chew on the rope, and so we're getting some emotion to leave. Good. And I'm letting him chew on this rope because I'm sure this is stretching him in a way sort of unusual. Ah, good. Head shake. Good boy. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great. All right, he wanted to get down, and I'm going to let him because that was such a great effort. And I want to see what happens. And Tommy's out there feeding, so we may have lost his attention with the feeding, and that's okay. I just wanted to see, did we stretch enough that we could inspire him to lay down and roll? Like, did we have enough change in the body? Wow, look at the way he's standing. This is really interesting. And kind of doing his mouth. And digestion turning on. And yawning. So this made a big difference. And look at him walk towards the pallet. That was interesting. Do you want me to fix it up for you to do it again? That's fine. You can do it again. I've gotten where I put these pallets in the stalls of trouble of horses that were really trying to help. Oh, this is great. Release. We're getting more release after doing this pallet than we have the whole time. And I have found when they have access to the pallet in the stall, they will stand on it. Like, I've been putting it in front of the door, and they stand on it to look out the door, or we put it in front of the feed bucket so they'll stand up on it to eat their food. But they have free choice to either stand up on it or not. So I kind of implied you could go back on there, and then we're doing all this interesting releasing in his neck. The feeding is distracting. That's okay. That's okay. If you don't have to roll, that's fine. It's sort of interesting. The last time I did the pallet, he got off and rolled and rolled. Good boy. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Now we're getting on there and yawning. and yawning. And big jaw adjustments. Really nice. Really nice. And his head's starting to go down more. He's eye rolling on this side a bunch. So there's a lot that he's adjusting with the pallet. So I've really been working on trying to motivate people to do more stuff with pedestals or mounting blocks. I think this pallet might be something that people will do. Wow! Good boy. I'm gonna let him process this now. I'm seeing that change in the blood in their jugular groove and their jugular vein. That's a huge deal. And you probably won't be able to see it on the video, but when you get home, sort of watch that jugular groove, because when they get, oh, that was interesting. When they really get deep into parasympathetic nervous system, blood pressure goes down, and that causes, and maybe you can zoom in on it, that causes the blood vessels in the body to relax a little bit. That's how blood pressure goes down. And all of a sudden, you're going to be able to see the blood going in this jugular groove. I can see it down there at his chest, where you normally do not see that, especially when they're tight, you don't see it. So I'm hoping you'll be able to see it right through that jugular groove. That shows us that this horse truly is out of sympathetic nervous system and survival, and far enough into parasympathetic nervous system that we have caused his blood vessels to relax. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can't fake that. All right, sweetie. So maybe he doesn't need to roll today. We got so much done. I think that that's a huge deal, because this horse has been needing to roll a lot, and we've had the least amount of rolling today that we've had, but look at the difference in the way he's standing. Like, that's pretty cool, the difference in him. Good boy. He could stand up for a model class. So I really do think it would benefit him to stay another week and let me get a little further through this. But even if you need to come pick him up this weekend, I hope this helps you know what you can do to keep this going at home. Awesome.